Here's what happens when your messaging is completely aligned with your business, your brand, and so much more, and it ultimately feels like magic. Yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my previous clients. We always keep in touch just because I have very close touch points with all of my clients. And she was like, something feels out of alignment with my messaging. Can we work on it? And I was like, yes, let's do it. Messaging goes in phases, whereas sometimes you need to realize that it comes in and it comes out, in the sense that sometimes it hits and sometimes it absolutely flops, and your audience will tell you everything. But the biggest thing to note is that when your messaging is in complete alignment with what you're doing, who you are, and why you're doing everything that, like why you built your business, it feels like magic. So what did we do? We sat on an hour-and-a-half long call just talking about her offerings, her messaging, her alignments, and then it was just like it all came together, and it was so cool to watch. Why I'm sharing this is because it's just like your messaging goes in phases, right? When you're trying to understand how to bring out your offer throughout your content, throughout the things that you do, it just, sometimes it's an absolute flop. But it hits for like a little while. Like it could be something that hits for the first 3 months, and then after 3 months, it's like, no. So this is why evaluating your messaging every couple of months is incredibly important. But then again, when it's in alignment, it feels like magic. Here's what I would do if you want your brand to feel like this. I would start with writing down everything that goes with your brand. So just think about keywords, just word vomit. And this might be something that you need to do on video and go back. So I recommend downloading something like Fathom and just like having a recorded call by yourself, and then it takes AI notes, because then you don't have to do it yourself. Sit with yourself or sit with someone else who can ask you very integrative questions of like, what do you go through the process? Like, explain it to me. Like, what are you having trouble with? Because then I think if you have someone else to hear you, or if you hear yourself back, you're going to be able to see kind of like where the messaging is aligning and misaligning. Think about it as if like you're in high school or in college or whatever, and you're rereading your essay that you're supposed to turn in. Remember how they used to say when it's choppy, it's like not right? Same thing. If it's choppy, it's not right. But if it feels like it's a flow, there's a lot more messaging that you can take away from the words that you already say. It's just something that you sometimes maybe need to pay attention to.